Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hello and welcome to Share Talk. Today I'm joined by Nicholas Lee, who's a non-executive director at Pires Investments. Hi today, Nicholas.
Yeah, hi Zach. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. We're speaking on the Monday after your half-year report that you delivered on the Friday. Good reaction at least in terms of the share price after that, and perhaps not surprising. I suppose the highlights for me are, in a way, the things or the thing you got out of. So maybe you can just the cash you got back in the bank, and maybe that's the thing to start off with.
Yeah, I mean, I think since we made our sort of tech investments back in November of last year, we've achieved two realizations from that investment. One was the sale of a portfolio company called Automatics, where we returned something like €800,000 compared to the investment we made a few weeks earlier of £1.1 million. So almost all our money back on day one. Obviously, clearly we've been putting more money in, but that's a great return after a short period of time. And then more recently, one of the other investment portfolio companies, PIRI, that decision was made just to sell some shares that the fund holds in that company, just to basically return the amount of the original investment. So the greater balance of that investment is still held. It's just really to return the initial cost. So, pretty good sort of results in a period of 7 months where we've got, actual cash back from that investment that we made.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things with investment companies. Shareholders can get a bit impatient in terms of liquidating your particular investment. And let's say the management might say, well, we just invested in Facebook and we think it can go a long way and we've doubled our money. Yeah. But, you have a sort of a bit of a clash between shareholders wanting to cash out early, which they do in the market anyway, retail investors, they get out too early, and management that wants to keep going and run a position.
Yeah, and I think again the great thing with the investment that we the overall portfolio investment that we made is that whenever there is a realization, that money comes straight back to the investors. There's no situation where the money stays in the fund, which was probably the case in some other similar types of investments. So a realization, bang, we get the cash back.
Right. I mean, one of the other highlights, I suppose, of Pires in the recent past is the involvement of Chris Akers. He's a well-known technology investor, quite a canny investor, and I would assume that some people have been flagged to the wonders of Pires by Chris Akers, building up a stake in your company. Is that sort of a big support to you? Does that help you?
Yeah, I mean that's clearly it helps our profile. Chris is now the second largest shareholder in the company. So, as you say, given his sort of experience, expertise, and success in the investing in the sector, to have him as the second largest shareholder is great. And he has some very interesting investment ideas as well. So we're very pleased to have him on board.
And in terms of what's next for Pires, is it just scouring the tech space for the next bargain, and how does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really twofold. There will be new investments done within the fund that we've invested in within Shore Valley Ventures Fund, and there's we announced one last week, which was a company called Volograms, which is a very exciting sort of AR VR type business which enables that sort of technology to be used in mobile applications. So I think the statistic is something like there's about going to be 2.5 billion AR VR enabled smartphones in existence in the not too distant future. Well, that's a fantastic market. So that's the most recent investment. There will be more of the same with that, and then we are at the same time looking at various opportunities outside of Shore Valley Ventures, so in slightly different areas of the tech space.
And finally, obviously it's difficult to avoid COVID. How much do you think that's a factor, positive or negative? It seems to be almost a positive one.
I just think a lot of the companies that we're invested in have got almost increased opportunity as a result of COVID-19. And, we've got our investor presentation on the website, and there are a couple of very interesting slides at the back of that, which sort of are done by an independent research house that sort of decide, or say which areas of tech are sort of very resilient or positive in the COVID-19 situation, and it sort of maps our portfolio onto that, and it's very, very positive.
Nicholas Lee, Non-Executive Director at Pires Investments, thank you very much indeed.
Great. Well, thank you for having me on, Zach.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.